Welcome to the Wellness Woman podcast. This podcast marks season 2, or a combination and rebranding of The Green Life, an evolution into a more expansive conversation around women's health, holistic well-being, and conscious living for everyone. Hosted by me, Chantal, holistic nutritionist and naturopath. The podcast offers real-life conversations, practical tools, and grounded insights to help you navigate wellness with clarity, without overwhelm, extreme, or confusion. This is where wellness meets real life. Hey guys, welcome to this new episode. I'm not gonna say The Green Life because I have some news for you. I look like Rudolph. My nose is really red if you're watching this on YouTube, but it's so cold. And in any case, I have shared on episode 121 that I was going to have 2 podcasts. And after some reflection and also logistics, turns out that is not a good idea. So what I actually decided to do is to have one podcast that embraces what I've done with The Green Life, but combines it with this new concept of women wellness and really just serve everyone with information about healthy living. So the new podcast, because it's basically chapter 2 of The Green Life, we're changing the name, however, and we're calling it The Wellness Woman. And it's really a reflection of my work as a woman in wellness. And, you know, I practice naturopathy, nutrition, which is part of naturopathy, really. So when I say naturopathy, it encompasses all the alternative or supporting practices that can support allopathic medicine. But I find especially helpful when it comes to chronic diseases, which sometimes, unfortunately, the allopathic medicine scope is not really catered to. Our system knows how to manage symptoms, but that doesn't really offer health care. So with this podcast, it's just a continuation of sharing ways that we can live life healthily. There are different topics on here that can be really, really informative, whether it's, homestead, whether it's meditation, spirituality. But I am going to be talking more and more to actual doctors, and I want to bring in more science because there's a lot of confusion online, and really curate it a little bit more. It was very holistic and happy up to now. You know, we had a lot of episodes about even cannabis and so on. And I mean, I don't want to take anything away from it because it's really helpful to know these things and have conversations. But I also see that we have to be quite mindful about everything. And I actually decided that I will always accommodate the guests and be extremely welcoming and polite. But sometimes I need to challenge them a little bit more. And I hadn't done that in the past. And of course, I want people to express their thoughts. And, you guys are listening to this and you will always make up your mind. But, and I hope that you do in view of the fact that you can do research and you can look at studies and you can look at things that matter. But, I had the late John McDougall on the show a couple of times. He was great. I really liked him and his passion, but he was a little bit angry sometimes. But when we talked about Alzheimer's, he was just so focused on just heavy metals, which have a big part to play, but it's also not just the full picture. And so that conversation was helpful in one side, but it's missing some of the other things that we talk about when we talk about neurological health and brain health in particular. So those are the kind of examples. When I have a guest, I have to make sure that I can connect it to another episode where people can get more information. And really, this is how I want to drive this through. But I also love the fact that we can talk about women's health because that's really, really important. And as I shared in the other episode, I wanted to have a podcast that was dedicated to that because there's a lot of confusion and there's not a lot of support of women's health. But then I also realized that a lot of men need to listen to this information. And because my demographic is women between 35 and over 70, the younger generation that needs to actually learn about our hormones is probably getting lost in that because it doesn't resonate with them. But The Green Life can be a little bit more inclusive, or in this case, I should say, The Wellness Woman can be more inclusive. So the episodes will be very good for everyone. But of course, there are some episodes that would be structured and aimed at some demographics only, and then other people are welcome to listen to it. But the point is that there is one platform where you can go and get the information. So this was a decision that I made. It also has a financial part to play because, of course, two shows cost more, not necessarily double, actually more than double, because platforms don't charge per show the same amount. The more you have, the more you pay. I understand that now. And I have a series of affiliations that I with products that I truly, truly enjoy, like really. And and I can have those, discount codes for the audience. And if you buy from there, they pay me a percentage. And I'm always open about this, and it's great. But I also don't have, and I don't want to, trying to look for more and more and more to then cover costs, because then it might what if it compromises with the quality of the things that I should suggest. And I'm so wary of the world we live in, right? There's a lot of confusion out there. There are a lot of products, and brands want to be, put at the front. And I think a lot of the time, to be honest with you, some brands really are coming from people that care and are passionate about it. But I don't know if their corporate structure then pushes them to cut corners, and then you buy into the story and it becomes the problem, right? Because maybe you don't share 100% correct information. I don't know. I think that when there's a lot of money play, that happens. And of course, when brands can play a lot of money, it begs the question, who's behind it? I tend to work with smaller brands, really. Sadly, Dr. Morse's herbs right now are not doing affiliations. I don't know what is happening. I need to speak to them because he bought over the old brand that he had sold, whilst he also opened a new one. So he has two brands now, but they're both under him, but they stopped doing the affiliates. So even in the US, I don't have the discount code anymore. Having said that, I still promote his herbs. They're wonderful and they're great for cleansing, but I don't get paid for it. And equally, even with Nama, the juicer, this Nama Well, at the moment I don't get paid. I would like to actually become a proper affiliate, because I think that we're going to grow quite a bit, and I really love their product. And you know that because I've been actually promoting them since the beginning. They gifted me the C2. It is such, the J2. It's such a great, wonderful, beautiful juicer. I love it more than life, honestly. It just makes the best juices. But I agreed with them that they would, gift me the machine, but I wouldn't get paid. However, I would get a discount for you guys. That has been since the beginning. It will not stop. If I change my agreement with them and I get paid as an affiliate, I will share that so you know openly. So I wanted to be really transparent. And this is actually why I also decided, let's have one podcast so that I can manage the costs. At the moment, I'm the one that is editing the episodes. And so that's another thing, adding double the work. I just can't do it right now. I have a lot of projects on the go, and that would have been, it was making me really anxious. And I thought, hold on a second, what do you suggest and advise to your clients when they feel this way? And it's like, step it back and say no to something. And I thought, well, I can't do two shows, right? Eventually, we'll have a bigger team in my company. I'm working on some things in the background that I've shared, kind of. But I need to really be realistic, because I don't want to compromise the quality of things. And I'm not, you can see this is a podcast that is edited very basically, because I'm not a techie person, but I'm learning more and more skills, and I really value that they can come in handy, and I can't wait to actually see this grow more and more. So this is a very quick one to just share the information, share these changes, and I will be posting amazing interviews that I have coming up. I also want to make sure that I acknowledge the fact that when I have guests on and they speak about their expertise, I allow them to speak, I allow them to share. And I've noticed I'm very accommodating in podcasts, and that's because I really feel that when people share something, they believe in it. I don't necessarily agree with everything. And so I always want to make sure that the caveat is whoever comes on, their opinion is their own. And I will do a better job in the future to maybe challenge some things that perhaps feel a little bit outlandish, so that we can go deeper into things. But realistically speaking, I also want to keep it very welcoming because everyone is entitled on their opinion, but also they have experiences which I don't have. And sometimes just looking at studies maybe it's a little bit limiting as well because it's not everybody's experience. So I'm always open. But I urge you as the listeners to take in on information. When it becomes complicated and confusing, I always say this, go back to basics, right? And I think when it comes to wellness and well-being in general, the things are we eat more plants, we eat more from nature, we have to keep it simple. And then for each of us that have requirements, we can look deeper into them. But for the most part, especially in episodes like the next one that I have with Brenda Davis, she's a registered dietitian. She's also part of the Canadian nutritional guidance that was published a couple of years ago. And so she has a lot of wisdom to share. And when she shares something, it is pretty much for everyone. And then, of course, again, if there are tweaks that somebody has to make for their personal journey, needs, and requirements, lifestyle, that's something to discuss then with the practitioner, unless you can do it on your own. But normally, it really is best to do it with practitioners, especially if you're looking to perhaps add a little bit more protein into your diet, whatever it is. But that's the beauty of it, right? It's the beauty of having knowledge and having so much that we can share now, and also having people that have been working at it for a long time. Brenda's been in health, in nutrition for 40 plus years. So I think she has a lot of knowledge that we can definitely, say thank you to. So, okay, guys, this was really a quick one. If you're not following yet on Spotify, on Apple, on YouTube, please do support. I tell you what, a lot of speakers and amazing experts are busy and they are very selective with the shows that they go on to. And so they only really want to go where there's a big audience. So I really need you to start supporting this program, this podcast, so that I can invite more and more amazing people. And it's because I want the conversations to be engaging. And I know that there are people that maybe are not as famous that are coming on, and I love talking to them as well. But I also want experts in the field, and their time is precious. But your time is precious too. I want you to get as much information as you can by listening to the podcast. And I think there are some of my colleagues that are doing amazing work out there. And so there are a lot of things, but we are all unique and ask unique questions. And I have so many that I would love to ask these amazing people. And so if you support and we grow, I'll be able to invite them on and they will say yes. Unfortunately, sometimes I get a lot of no's because of the size of the podcast. It's still quite small, but it's okay. It's a journey. And right now, because I made a decision to really consolidate two amazing ideas, it's going to be a new name, a new branding. I think it's going to fly. So I really thank you if you've been with me since the beginning of this process, but also I thank you for continuing to be here. Your support is what makes this work. So I appreciate you for that. And I also hope that anything I share here has an impact on you because, even changing something small in your life by being, I don't know, giving you that aha moment or being supportive, whatever it is, makes me happy. My work is all about that offline. And so I truly value it when I can actually reach people, even if I don't know you, right, in person. And I know online, we can be a little bit disconnected, even if we're very connected to people. I hope that as we progress, I really hope that this can become a community where actually I can maybe even have a page where we can chat to each other in as a group. Let's see how that goes because I think that would be really nice. I think we all want to feel seen and heard, and we all really find friendships to be, first of all, important. But sometimes, especially if you're someone that travels a lot, moved a lot, maybe you don't have your childhood friends with you, or you have, changed your environment. You might feel a little bit lonely. It's beautiful to have a community. And online can be very helpful as well. Of course, it's much better when you're in person with people. So, but, I when I talk to you, and I really do feel that this can become a community, and it's been already. I have some people that write to me all the time and they listen to the podcast, and it's brilliant. And I want to see that growing. But I also want to promise you that I will always answer. Hopefully I see the comments on YouTube. I sometimes I notice see them after a long time. I don't get emails about these new comments. I don't know why. But if people engage, I want to be able to answer. I want to be able to support. I want to be able to chat to you. But the best way really to get to me is through Instagram. That one I check every day. And so if you listen to the podcast and then want to check with me, chat with me, talk to me, send me questions, send me ideas, please do so on Instagram. And I think we can create a nice little conversation there too. But again, I want to be someone that is not just a talking head on YouTube or on a laptop. It's actually someone that you can reach out to, because that's humanity that I'm trying to portray through my presence online as well. All right, guys, have a great one. I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.